One of the things that you need to do is actually watch movies. And for you to get a deeper understanding of, you see how you look at the frames in a movie and see how the limitations that the actors have and see how they thrive within that frame. For example, if it is a close-up, you need to understand what it demands and you see the limitations it has. So that when you are acting, you know that you unlike stage where you have this whole wide space, here there are certain things that I think he's going to explain them below, called like cheating and whatever, that help us create a realistic performance on screen. Now, a wide shot is, for instance, if I have all of you in the frame, now you realize that there is plenty of space for you to move and be physical. That's the advantage with the what? With the wide shot. And you see, the wide shot is normally used as a master shot, so that you have a sense of where the scene is taking place, where you are. Because if you start, for instance, with a close-up, it's a technique. You can start with the close-up to create mystery, and then zoom out later to show where they are. It all depends on the technique of the director. But basically, the first shot that we normally have is a wide shot to establish the whole the setting. But it doesn't mean that when in editing, things might change. That might be your first shot, but it might not be the first that you're going to see. Because when I'm editing, I might decide that the most important subject here is Mukama. And I start with a close-up on Mukama talking. And you're wondering what is happening. Then after he has said his speech, I give a wide shot to reveal that there are actually other people he's talking to. In a wide shot, you have the freedom to be physical and all that. But, and this is where things become tricky, you need to be very careful about the choices that you make physically. Because when we go to the other shots, we have to be consistent, because it would be funny if you cut from a wide when he's seated like that. And when we go to a close-up, he has his hand here. You get, it doesn't match. So he has to be consistent with the choices you make. So for me, a wide shot gives you freedom, fine. But you need to be very specific about the things, the physical movements that you're going to make, and make sure that they're going to be easy for you to remember. So the choices you make, even the posture, the way you sit, or the way you're standing in a wide shot, becomes like your first. Once you do that, then you have to stick to that throughout. Just because you know that you're acting for camera doesn't mean that you need to restrict yourself and constrain, because some people do it. And you know what I told you about the choices you make? When you're making choices, because you fear that you might get out of frame or whatever, you tend to make gestures that are constrained to you, so that you don't want to be too wide. But it is okay for you to be wide, especially when it's a wide. The choice you make should be consistent throughout. Even when you're going for the close-up, we should be able, if I'm going for the close-up and I just need to see your face, but I need to know that your arms are not in your face, they're out there. At the moment when you are saying these lines. Because if in the wide I'm doing that, now when you come to my close-up and I've changed my position, I'm in a different position, it won't match. Are we together? Okay, those are the standard ones. The standard ones are the wide, the medium shot, and the close-up. Those are the three standard shots. But they have variations. In the wide shots, we have extreme long shot, we have a long shot, medium long shot. It all depends on the director and what they want. Even in the medium shot, we have medium close-up. Even in the close-up, we have extreme close-ups. So it depends on what the director wants. What is important for you is that you should be knowing the kind of frame you are in whenever you are performing. Now, one of the things you need to understand is that just because the camera is, when people are acting for camera, I've seen this happen on so many sets, they get the impression because the camera is that, you see where it is there? Once you sit at that distance, you may assume that it is a wide shot all the time. It doesn't have to. It's the lenses that are going to change there. Because the camera might be that far, but the framing could be on just this guy. So that's because the camera is that far doesn't mean that it's a wide shot. So you need to be careful. If you're not sure of the frame you're acting in, ask. That's what they're trying to say. The thing to take note of here is the fact that when we are in a close-up, the demands of, that is when you realize that the camera, you see the camera is so intimate. And once it is in the close-up, it will have details of your what? Of your face. So this is when, if it's an emotional scene, on a wide, we may not be able to see those emotions out, but on a close-up, once they tell you that you're in a close-up, just be aware. If your scene is emotional, this is when you have to exhibit all these emotions. If you're supposed to cry, that's when you're going to see the tears. On a wide, we may not see it. We may not see the tears, but on a close-up, we will be able to see the tears. So it will be, once they tell you that you are in a close-up, it's really up to you to bring out those tears if you have to. Are we together?
Yes.
If we're at this moment, if you see that phone where it is? You see where it is, eh? So if it begins ringing right now and it's distracting us, then if I'm shooting this scene, I might want to get a close-up of that and then have reactions of you to the phone so that I give attention to the fact that it's the phone that is ringing. Yeah. Or if somebody is not paying attention. Or let me give you a scenario. If I feel like Hilda is not paying attention, I'm not saying that you're not paying attention. I'm saying if I feel like you are not paying attention and I ask you a question and you don't seem to even know how to answer, but all the time you have been looking at your phone, and I want to know that, I want to show the audience what has been distracting you from paying attention, I can go to a close-up of your phone. You're either on Facebook or watching porn or whatever it is, and show that that's what has been distracting you. So the shot that I take, it has to have a purpose. I don't just go for a close-up for no reason. I go because it needs to have a purpose. It needs to tell the story. If it is not telling the story, it's useless, because I'm not going to zoom in on that cup. If what for? Why am I showing it if it doesn't have a contribution to the story? Once you go on stage and you step on stage, you are done. You can't go back. Whatever you do at that moment is what will go, is what the audience is seeing. But for film, if you make a mistake, you can repeat the performance until you perfect it, and then they shoot. There are so many takes. So it looks like acting for camera is a bit demanding and tedious on the actor, because there are going to be several takes depending on the nature of the composition of the frame. If there are so many characters and you need to capture all of them and you need to see all their reactions, you might have there for quite some time, because we shall have the wide shot and we shall have the close-ups, we should have the medium shots, and you're doing the same thing over and over. Now, one of the things that is challenging with this kind of profession is that you need to have the passion. Because if you sit back and wait for things to happen, they're not going to happen for you. It's not. You need to take the initiative to go out there and look for. If one of the things you need to do now, and one of the things you need to cultivate, is network. You need to be aware in your local, wherever you are, what's going on. Is there filming taking place? Now you can hear that Damal is going to start shooting. The Sanyo has ended. I don't know whether Beloved is still on, but I think they also closed. But Crossroads has started. So who is doing Crossroads? And when they ask you, if you go to a place and go like, I'm an actor, and I want to do some acting with your company, whatever it is, they will ask you for a show reel to see what have you done. So you can get an extract from any script, or have friends, act out a scene and film it. You get? Now, once you use that, that is used as a basis for your ability to act. Because most people do that. Eh? Here's the thing. When you sit back and wait for things to happen, it's not going to happen. You need to put yourself out there and know what is going on. And if there are auditions anywhere, but the thing is that you need to know and go for those auditions. Nobody's going to look for you. Unless you are an established actor. Let's just actually talk about auditions and what happens. Here's the thing about auditions. And I've had so many people tell me that auditions are not good. The people, you go there and then they don't even give you a part. They don't give you a part because you don't suit the role. It's not that because you're a bad actor. No. People tend to have that feeling that because I've gone for an audition and I haven't been accepted, I'm a bad actor. That should never discourage you. It's just that maybe you don't fit the look that I'm looking for. You don't fit the height. You might have the acting ability, but I might specifically be wanting somebody who's a bit large for my role. And it's me, Kwezi, coming in like a slim guy like I am. And they're going like, nah, this guy can't be a bodyguard. No way. We don't want him. We want what? Guy with muscles and all that. So even if you're so good at acting, if the role doesn't suit you, they won't give it to you. So they're not going to give it to you because you are good, no. But that doesn't mean, if I give you my example, like of being small and a bodyguard, it can work, depending on how the role is interpreted. Because we've seen bodyguards who are tiny. If you have not been taken in an audition, it doesn't really mean, because I've seen people who walk out of an audition and they're so discouraged and they go like, you know what, I'm done, I'm going to try something else. Done. It doesn't mean that you're a bad actor, no. It's just that you don't suit the role. Because even when you're writing your own scripts, there is an image that you have of the character that you want. So unless, you see, there are some actors who are so good that initially, even when I was thinking of a different image in my mind, but if an actor comes with a certain energy and gives that character strength, I'm going to go like, wait a minute. I was thinking of using a person who looks like this shape or whatever, but this character, the way they bring out the emotion, it's so powerful. I can switch and go like, it doesn't have to be what? That. Let me just take this one, because the way they're executing the role, it comes out. This is very important. Very, very important. If you're going to be acting for film, it is always important to learn your lines. Not only for yourself, but for the other person you're acting with. Because I can assure you, one of the things that is going to irritate an actor, even you yourself, is when you've learned your lines and you come and the person you're acting with don't know their lines. And because it affects your acting. Because you are anticipating what they're going to say and you know, and then they say a wrong line, and you go like, what? So you are ruining the performance. So it is very important that you learn your lines. Very, very important. But that one helps, because even the director, remember there are so many people on set who you are affecting if you don't even have your lines. The people who have set up this, who have done the set, also want to shoot the thing and go. But if they keep repeating things because of you, wow, you'll see their energies towards you. They don't like you. And when that happens, a set is very sensitive. If you're not liked on set, that's, for me, one of the important things an actor needs to do is to develop relationships. You don't have, when I'm saying develop relationship, I don't have to be your friend. I have to be agreeable, period. If I'm going to be acting with Grace, I don't have to be your friend, but I need to have a conversation with you and talk, have a understanding that we're going to do this role together. You're willing to give me the energy I need, and I'm going to give you the energy that you need. Otherwise, if we are not, it's not going to work. It is not going to work. Script analysis. Because even when you're doing an audition, you need to look at the character and see, and understand what does this character want? What is their goal? So that you can be able to deliver a plausible performance. Otherwise, if you just go there, you're going to end up saying your lines without being motivated. You don't know what is happening in the scene, and you think because you have your lines, yeah, you have the lines, but have you interpreted those lines? And you know what the actor, why is he saying those lines? What does he want to do to the other person? Yeah, I'll give you a scenario. We're going for an audition, me and him, and that's the scene we're having. I'm not talking in real life. I'm just saying that this is the scene. That the two of us are going for audition. There is a movie that is going to take place, and we're vying with each other. There are the heavy chances that he may take the part from me. And all I'm going to do now is we are waiting outside the audition room, and I look at this guy and start commenting on his shoe, and then do that, and I'm trying to irritate him and take him out of what? So that's, character. So by the time he goes there, his performance is not good and I'll get the part. There are certain people, there are the things that happen. And this actually happened to me when I was doing an audition. Well, this was actually for an advert. It was an advert. And when I did the audition, then some guy comes and tells me, one of the casting guys, I can give you this part, but you're going to give me a percentage. If they're giving you 1 M for this whole thing, you're giving me 10%. Yeah. And I was like, what? Yeah, I'm the one who's going to do the job, not you. So why am I, your role is to cast. So I just kept quiet. And I got the role. When he came to ask me for the 10%, I told him, dude, we never agreed. I got this thing on merit, you never give me the thing. Because for me, I feel like I'm the one doing the job, not you. But some people go ahead and accept, and they get the role. That's what happens. It is always good to have a good relationship. For me, that is paramount when I'm on set. Because set can be one of the most frustrating things. And that is one of the reasons why I personally, deliberately don't want to direct. Because directing, I was actually supposed to be directing Sanyu. But I told you not to direct Sanyu because directing is tedious. If you want to be a director, you need to have commitment and time. Especially if you're doing like a series that's like Sanyu or Beloved or Crossroads, you always have to be the first guy on set because you don't expect actors to wait for you to come on set. No, because you are in charge. So you have all the other departments come under you. So you have to be there on time. You have to prepare because it's foolish for you to go on set without even knowing what you want to. You have a short, the short list can be done by other people and whatever, but you are the one who eventually is going to merge this thing together. So it becomes so taxing when you have to deal with people. Now, this is where I'm coming from. Dealing with people is not a simple thing. People have, you can imagine when you're on a set and you have like 20 people, 20 actors you're working with, and then there is the crew, there is the crew, all other departments they're there. And believe me, everybody have their own life and they have their own problems in life. But when you're on set, we tend to have these things out of the way and become one. But it is hard. It is hard for you to distance yourself because you can imagine an actor who has come on set, but he had a fight with his girlfriend, or his wife, not girlfriend. When you get into that mood and you are there, and this actor, much as you're telling them not to bring their personal issues on set, and however much they try, you cannot divorce that from them, inside them. It's hard. So you need to handle them in such a way that you do not aggravate whatever pent-up emotions they have, because it can be so easy for such an actor who has been, they try their best. They come with those problems and try to keep themselves and try to do their job, yeah? And they've come psychologically prepared that, okay, I'm going to go on set, but I have this stuff that is happening to me. I'm going to put it aside and go on set and do my job. But what happens is that when I come on set and I'm going to do my job, and there are people who are just messing me up, it's going to spark me off. And when coupled with the frustrations I have at home, I'm going to go out of character.